This video is made with the sponsorship of Ecrotech New Zealand, one source for all your beekeeping requirements. Hi, Trev here from Trevs Bees on Facebook and YouTube. Today I want to talk to you about my honey fridge and warmer and how I made it. This is an old enamel fridge, so it's got a metal casing on the outside and a metal casing on the inside. That was a little bit of an extra bonus, but I only paid about $10 for this from an old refrigeration shop. So the fridge part of it still works, but the other part of it is I use it to actually warm my honey up so I can have my honey as runny, or I can cool the honey down to make creamed honey. That will be the subject of the next video. So we just look down here, and I've got a bucket of honey here from this season which has started to crystallize. We've all seen the honey in our pots that are like this. It's all gone crystallized, and if you actually tried to eat it, it's quite gritty. And really, while it tastes nice, it's not much fun. Notice I've got a sample teaspoons, and because I'll probably eat a bit of honey during this video. So that container of honey really is not much use to us in that form. We need to make it runny so that I can pot the honey up and have nice runny honey. How do we get it to that stage? Well, we need one of these. This is my temperature controller. This costs about $15 on Trade Me, plus a bit of freight. And I can adjust this by pressing the set button and press the up and down button, press the set again, and now that fridge will want to be at 33 degrees. So it's currently sitting at around 31.5 degrees. That plugs into my electronics, and the heater side of it is now working. And on here I have a little temperature controller, and that will tell me either the temperature that's in the room here, and currently it's about 12 degrees, or that it's 30 degrees inside the box, inside the fridge, the warmer. And in here I have, look, the lights just come on. Now that down there, the light, a 75 watt light bulb, is the source of my heat. A little fan here that draws the air in down through here, out through the gap down here, across the face of the light bulb, and up around the cupboard. So here's the other side of the temperature controller, and over here is the temperature probe. These things are very accurate. This bucket here has been in the warmer here for 2 days. We'll just take that out of there. We'll close the door, stop the heat getting out, and we'll have a look at this honey. This now, as you can see, it's almost like water. That's now perfect for potting up. I'll re-strain that because there's a little bit of pollen on top, as you can see. And then it will get potted up. There's a little piece of tape on here that's got the day I harvested that honey, the apiary it came from, its batch number, and moisture content. So, how do we get the honey from this state to this state in here? So, for starters, I set the temperature on the controller to 46 degrees. And the honey goes in there in that crystallized state for 48 hours, 2 days. After 24 hours, I got a big paddle that I've made, and I stir. This is wood, so it's nice and food safe. And I stir the honey up to make sure I get any crystals that are sitting on the bottom of the bucket to come to the top and get immersed in the already thawed out, what I call thawed out, decrystallized honey. And after 48 hours, it's nice and thin and runny, and all the crystals are gone. That's important for the next stage when I want to crystallize it to make creamed honey. Once it's been thawed out, I tend to keep the honey between 32 and 35 degrees. 36 degrees, 35.5 degrees is the temperature that's in the brood nest of the bees, and that is the temperature that the honey stays runniest longest. Does that make sense? Once it's been thinned out, made runny again, I keep my jars of honey, runny honey, in the fridge at 32 degrees, and that keeps them all nice and runny. So when the customers buy my honey, it's as nice and runny as I can get. I've just turned the light and the fan off because it makes a bit of a noise over the sound. So I just want to show you a couple of things that I've done in here. I've put a couple of blocks of wood in here so I can form a second shelf on here, and this is engineering reinforcing mesh, so that I can put the pots on here, and I can use this cavity down here, which is not very suitable. And then that's the old fridge tray, and it just makes it easier for the honey to sits on here better than it sits on that mesh. This little piece of tin here is to stop the heat deflecting up here and causing a hot spot within the fridge, within the warmer, and that causes a bit of a problem. So this is only a 75 watt light bulb. So I just use a standard 75 watt incandescent light bulb. Buy them cheap at Bunnings, and 75 watts is enough to heat this up to over 50 degrees, but you don't want to take your honey over 50 degrees. And then I've screwed some boards onto the side here to give a bit more strength, because I'm putting 30 kg buckets of honey in here. These little plastic brackets, as you can see, are broken here. They wouldn't handle that weight. I can only do one bucket in here. I'd like to be able to do two. It wouldn't cost me any more to do two at a time, but one's fine. Okay, so I've now just put some of my runny honey back in here. Now that I've taken the bucket of honey out, that bucket will get potted up today. That's going to be the subject of another video. And so this honey now will stay in here until it gets sold at 32, 33 degrees. When I want to put a second layer on, I've just got a simple sheet of cardboard, set that over the top, plenty of room around the sides for the air to come up, and then I can just stack up the next layer of pots. They get stacked in the drawer and whatever, and then I can put some more honey down underneath here. So, a few things to remember. 46 degrees, what I term thawing out temperature. The temperature that's required to melt all the crystals that are in crystallized honey, this bucket over here. 32 to 35 degrees, that's the honey, that's the temperature that the honey is best kept at in the hive. That's the bees' temperature. That's what's best to keep the honey running. The honey running, yeah, I got it right. And also I can put queen cells in here at 32 degrees, but I've got to raise the moisture level. So that's it for my honey fridge warmer. I'll show you how to use we'll use the fridge later on in the next video of creaming honey. Go talk to your local refrigeration mechanic. I've got these old fridges around that are no use anymore. They still work. Don't use a chest freezer. They will still work, but the trouble is you've got to lift 25 kilos right up over the top and get it down into the freezer. It's too hard. Better to have a door type one. And if you can find one that'll handle 2 buckets, 25 kg buckets, that would be even better. So that's it from Trevs Bees, Facebook and YouTube. Next one, we'll catch you around creaming honey.